Good everyone, my name is Genesis and I'm a member of Team Genesis Ignite. So today on behalf of my team, I'm here to present to you the demo of our project, Gensesis Ignite. So Genesis Ignite is a smart automated launchpad system that has been designed to promote transparency and integrity in the traditional launchpad system. Genesis Ignite is themed, automated and smart in the sense that with Genesis Ignite, we are able to automate the entire Launchpad and pre-sale session system in the sense that with Genesis Ignite, if the developer chooses to create a Launchpad with our system, he is obliged to choose if he wants a pre-sale session after the Launchpad season. So if he chooses to say, okay, yes, I want the pre-sale session after the initial Launchpad session, our contract is smart, our platform is smart enough to automatically trigger a pre-sale session immediately after the Launchpad. And the price for the pre-sale session is determined by the Launchpad. I mean it in the sense that when the admin creates a Launchpad, all he needs to do is tell us the amount of token he needs to create a Launchpad with. He is not stating the price of the token. Our Launchpad determines the price of that token from the user contribution to that Launchpad. It does that based on the amount that Launchpad was able to generate. That is based on the trust the users have for that project. So after the Launchpad session, our contract determines the price of that project, the price of that token. Then it automatically generates or starts a pre-sale session for that project. That is the automation aspect of this project. So this project is also secure and promotes integrity in the sense that with Genesis Ignite, we do not just generate a Launchpad pre-sale session for users and for projects and that. With Genesis Ignite, each Launchpad project has a governance attached to it. So at the point where you are generating or deploying a new Launchpad to you, you're automatically generating a governance contract to you, a governance contract and also a governance token contract to you. We are doing this because our system is designed in a way that we pay the users, or the admin that created that Launchpad is only able to withdraw the fund that Launchpad made in the form of a milestone way. So that way, immediately a Launchpad is created, immediately a user creates a Launchpad. Other users participate in that Launchpad. They bring in their GIT token, to participate in that Launchpad. After the Launchpad season has ended, we do not just allow the admin to withdraw the entirety of the funds at once. This is in order to reduce the stories of founders or CTOs squandering funds that we generated from Launchpad session. So immediately after the Launchpad session, the user is able, or the admin is able to withdraw a particular installment, a single installment from that Launchpad. That is his first payment. Is to use that installment to push for other development, to make progress with the project. And if the users are satisfied with the progress they've made so far, what happens then is that the developer is able to come back, request for another payment, another milestone payment. After which users that participated in that Launchpad, only users that participate in that Launchpad will be able to vote or to decide. Either you must have participated in the Launchpad or the pre-sale. They are eligible to decide if that user or if that admin should get that next installment, that payment. So with this now, we've been able to create a bit of accountability in the system. Before this project, we had to settle down to look at the traditional Launchpad system. What are they doing wrong? What do we feel we can do better? So after a whole lot of research back and forth, we decided that, okay, the traditional Launchpad system, we looked at a whole lot of projects that came up through Launchpad, and we saw that most of them are not active today. This is either due to mismanagement of funds or one or two other issues. So if we can actually solve the problem of mismanagement of funds, we can give this project a better avenue to start up properly. So with this now, the creator or the admin that created the Launchpad is only able to get the next set of funds if his previous track record have been okay. If the user decide, okay, fine, we do not like the progress you've been making, we don't like how this fund have been managed, we are not giving out these funds to you, and that is it. The users are the owner of these funds, they have the right to decide what happens to their funds. So that is the system, or that is the idea we brought to life with Genesis Ignite. So for this project, I will be starting with, I'll be demoing this project with one of my accounts. This account I've tested a few functionalities on this platform with, but I'm going to be starting afresh like a new user. So I'm expecting that, a new user to our system, the first thing he does is, you have to use our swap system. With our swap system, we designed this swap system in order to reduce dependency on a particular token. I say this in the sense that we don't want a system where a user might want to participate in your Launchpad and he says, okay, I want to participate in your Launchpad, your project looks nice, but I do not have ETH to participate, I only have USDC. I do not know how to convert, or I do not want to convert my tokens to ETH. So we've created a system whereby a user now, all you just need to do is whichever popular token you have. For now, we only support ETH, DAI, and USDC. But if you have USDC, that is fine, no need to convert it to ETH, just bring your USDC to our swap, select USDC, then select the amount you want, and you automatically convert that token to our GIT token. And with our GIT token can participate in any of our system, any of the services we offer. Another reason why we chose to use this swap is that in future is in one of our roadmaps that what we want to achieve in future. One of our future goals is that we want to make our system in a certain form. We want to create a kind of like partially gasless transactions. We want to make our system partially gasless. We are using the term partially because our users will still have to pay for gas. They won't be doing that using the popular ETH, or if we are going to be deploying this project on the Binance Smart Chain, we won't be doing that using Binance Smart Chain. So users should be paying for gas with our token. Yeah. So all you just need to do is, okay, if you don't have ETH, that is fine. If you don't have BNB, that is fine. If you have USDC, good. If you have DAI, good. So all you just need to do is come to our platform, swap your token for our traditional GIT token. Then we'll charge you for your gas from our GIT token. So users now with any token that is supported by our system can interact with our system without necessarily having ETH. So that's one of the reasons why we developed this swap system for users to convert their native token or their other tokens to our own token. So let me demo a user converting ETH. Let's okay, this user wants to convert 0.1 ETH into our native token. So all the user needs to do is sign a transaction. After signing the transaction, we automatically collect the ETH from the user, then mint to the person an equivalent amount of our token. Our GIT token is a stablecoin, by the way, so we are able to generate the price or know how much of our token we are giving out to user by using Chainlink Oracle. So our swap contract generates the price of all the tokens we support through the Chainlink Oracle. So all we need to do is, okay, get the price of ETH, convert it to dollar. So we know that, okay, if you're bringing in this amount of ETH, just to get this amount of our token. And yes, you can see the user's balance has increased and the transaction was marked successful. So after getting at least a reasonable amount of our token from our swap, a user now can choose to participate in either our pre-sale or our Launchpad session. So for example, if the user chooses to participate in a Launchpad session, all he needs to do is, okay, click on the Launchpad part, and we are displaying a list of available Launchpads to the user, both available and those that are vended. So if this user selects, okay, I want to participate in, let's say, Starlight token Launchpad, all you do is, okay, click on the particular Launchpad you want to participate in. Click on the particular Launchpad you want to participate in. Then you are brought to a page that displays the information about our Launchpad. For example, with Starlight now we have 0 contributors. That's because nobody has contributed to this Launchpad yet. The total amount of token this Launchpad has is 28,999, which is approximately 29,000 tokens. This Launchpad, since we have 0 contributors, the Launchpad has raised 0 GIT in total. So there are other details here about the Launchpad. So if this user wants to participate in this Launchpad, all he needs to do is specify the amount he wants to participate in. For example, let's say 100 tokens. Then he approves our contract, the amount. So our platform is designed in a way that, okay, if you want to participate in a Launchpad, we are expecting you to sign transactions twice. The first transaction you are signing is to grant approval to our contract to take the amount you want to participate with from you. So this first transaction now is just to, okay, say, fine, I'm interested in this Launchpad, I'm giving this contract the approval to take this amount and participate in this Launchpad from you. Then this second transaction we are expecting users to sign is the actual transaction that is making or helping the user participate in this Launchpad. So once I sign this transaction and this transaction is successful, I'm expecting the GT rates to increase to 100, the contributors to increase by 1. As you can see, it just did. We have 1 contributor and we have 100 GIT rate. So with this now, this user now has successfully participated in this Launchpad. And we know that, okay, fine, the Launchpad is ending on the 5th. So that is it. Then if after the Launchpad session, the user chooses to participate in any other pre-sale session, and just like I told you, our contract is able to automatically trigger a pre-sale session after the Launchpad session was ended. So okay, let's say the user chooses to participate in, okay, because we took this Launchpad or pre-sale, sorry. All you need to do is go to the pre-sale session, click on the particular pre-sale you want to participate in. And at this point, we are telling the user the price of the tokens. And remember, I told you our Launchpad is able to determine the price of the token based on the success on how well user participates in the Launchpad. So our Launchpad was able to determine that, okay, based on user participation, the price of this token should be pegged at 1 GIT is equal to 29 IGB. So at this point, the user knows that, okay, this is the price of this token, this is what I'm getting. We also tell the user how many people participated in the Launchpad, how many tokens we actually budgeted for the Launchpad session, the price increase after Launchpad. So all this is a demo Launchpad, so most of the details you are seeing here might not be exactly how it will be in real life. Like, for example, the 100% price increase after the Launchpad might not be visible in real life. It's just a mock, a demo to see the efficiency of this platform. So with this now, okay, let's say this user wants to participate in this Launchpad and is willing to participate. So in this pre-sale, and is willing to participate with, okay, let's say 20 GIT token. All you need to do is type in the amount of GIT token you wish to participate with, and just like the Launchpad, you are signing 2 transactions. The first is to approve the pre-sale, to actually spend your token. Then the next is to actually participate in that pre-sale. So let's give it a minute to. So with this, I've approved the contract to spend my GIT token, and while we wait for the final transaction to pop up for me to sign, yeah, we should also note that if this transaction is successful, I'm expecting the total GIT rates to increase to 238. Yeah. And this is the balance of the user. So if this transaction is successful, they should increase, they should also increase. Yep, as you can see, this increased, this also increased, then the total supply available reduced. So you should, obviously, you're expecting that he's going to get to a point based on user participation that the available supply will drop to zero. Then at that point, nobody can participate in this launchpad again because there will be no other, in this pre-sale again, because there will be no other pre-sale token to issue out to users. Then after any successful launchpad, there's automatically a governance session that is triggered, just like I explained in the introductory part of this demo. This governance session determines how the moderator or developer that created a launchpad is able to utilize funds generated from that launchpad. Since this guy, this account I'm using, has participated in a launchpad and pre-sale, in as much as he has participated, he won't be able to participate for now in any available proposals. The reason for this is because at the point when these proposals were created, he was not the holder of that token. Yep. So if the user click on any DAO or governance session he wants to participate in, the first thing you see is a list of proposals. So for incognito list DAO, we know that okay, we have 2 proposals so far. One of them was cancelled, then the second one is pending. Pending means okay, the proposal is still active and expecting users to vote on. So if we click on this proposal, what we are seeing here in this page is the first thing we are seeing is okay, how many percentage weights do we have for those that have accepted that proposal, that request. And we're also seeing how many have voted against that request. We get the proposal ID, the proposal category, whether it's a milestone payment or an emergency withdrawal. We get the date the proposal was requested. We also get the description of the proposal. For example, this dev is requesting for extra funds in order to carry out promotions and also fund an airdrop they are planning to participate in. So we also get total installment. I told you during the course of creating a launchpad with the admins of Genesis Ignite, we determine how many installments we feel each project, that particular project should have, based on the roadmap, based on how broad or how wide the roadmap of that project is. We say, okay, this project we feel okay, it's better, it should have 3 installments or 4 installments, and for each installment, users we also have to vote for the admin to be able to withdraw his funds. So this particular project I'm on now has 3 installments, and so far so good, the admin has been able to withdraw 1, and he's requesting for a second withdrawal, that is a second installment of payment, as you can see here. So the amount he's requesting for is 300 GIT tokens, and this voting session is ending today, not tomorrow, by 1:57 p.m. This user now does not have this token. He doesn't have the governance token for this particular project because he didn't participate in this project. Even if he participated in this project, he didn't participate at the point when the launchpad, this proposal was created. So you can only participate in a proposal if at the time when the proposal was created, you actually have the governance token for that proposal. That's why here we are saying that okay, this person's voting power is 0. So even if this person, okay, this user now still insists, okay, that I still want to vote for this proposal, knowing fully well that you're not eligible, he can come and say you have to delegate himself to vote. So let's give that a few seconds. So after delegating himself to carry out that vote, he can actually proceed to vote, but his votes won't be recorded. Like his votes won't affect the voting weights we have here, either the accepted, the against, or the abstain vote. I think we are having like network congestion here, and that's why the delegating is taking time. We're expecting that immediately after this delegating process, we automatically trigger the pop-up again to sign the transaction for the main voting. Okay, and yes, our transaction is confirmed. Then you're moving forward to sign the transaction for the voting. And remember that this transaction is not going to affect the results we have because this user is not an authorized voter. So after the voting, you're expecting the voting status to change, but nothing here should be affected. Yep, voting successful. We voted already, but his voting did not affect the voting results in any way. So after a voting session was amended, the user or the admin, anybody can automatically execute the voting result. So when the deadline for the voting reaches, we are just expecting the admin or the user to just click on the execute button. And once the execute button is clicked on, if the user, a bulk of the user or the higher percentage of the user are voting for the proposal to carry out, accepting the proposal, automatically you are going to be paying out, the contract is going to be paying out the said amount to the admin. But if user votes against that proposal, there's not going to be a payment to the admin for that particular installment. The admin too can also put in more efforts and also request for another instrumental payment if he so wishes. So with this now, we've been able to implement or increase the we've been able to implement more. Okay, with this now, we've been able to implement more accountability in this system because the users now, those that participated in the launchpad, are able to hold the developers more accountable for their progress. And as a developer, now you know that okay, your progress, the amount of progress you've done, the work you've put in for each milestone determine whether you get a payment for another milestone. So that is the idea we brought in order to create more accountability in the traditional launchpad system. Then finally, we also have a P2P session. The function of this P2P session is to bring in more liquidity to the system. We know that okay, since our users will be swapping different tokens for our traditional token, All the token the user might have might not necessarily be in our swap, but that user still needs to participate in our launchpad, so he still needs to convert his token to authentic currency. All the user needs to do at this point in time is simply use our P2P. We plan to include more tokens in our P2P session, but for now we only support this ETH Classic, Shiba, and Ethereum. So all the user needs to do, okay, if you have any of these tokens which are not in our swap, just if you visit our P2P session, check out any ads that you are okay with. These are the price for these ads were fixed by other users who want to sell their token. You can either want to buy or you want to sell. So if you want to buy, just go to the buy section, just like I've done here. Select the particular token you want. Look for a price that you're comfortable with. For example, okay, I'm comfortable with 1 is equal to 2. This user is expecting me to bring in 440 GIT tokens. But I do not have 440. It's still fine. We still accept that. Just click on the particular ad you want. Specify how much you're willing to bring in. Okay, for example, I only have 40 tokens. So I'm going to fill this ad. Just like all our other platforms, we're expecting the user to first of all grant our contract approval. So after granting our contract approval, we sign the second transaction. The second transaction should be to actually fill the ad. Then, when this ad is successfully filled, we've given out 40 tokens, so we're expecting the available supply to reduce to 400. We're automatically collecting the 40 tokens from the user that's filling the ad, transferring it automatically to the user that created the ad. Then we are giving out the token, which is Ethereum Classic, to the person filling the ad automatically on the go. So with this, now we're bringing in trust into the system. You don't have to be worried that, okay, I might fill this ad and this person will not pay me. It's automated at this point in time. The tokens that the ETH Classic that this person is creating an ad for is with our system. So that is the logic we've brought in for our P2P session. So once I refresh this page, I'm expecting the available ad to reduce to 400, just like it did here now. So that's it. That's a brief overview of how our DApp functions, the connections between our DApp. And for every instance in time that at least a single launchpad is active on our platform is running on 11 smart contracts. 11 smart contracts interconnected in order to bring in this unique and this secure experience that we're giving out to users at this point. And so far so good. I know I've been blabbing a lot, but I've explained how our DApp work. But to round up this section, I would like to just show you some brief snippets of important codes that we felt are very important to run on our platform. So one of these is the code base for creating a launchpad and requesting for a launchpad. First, as I explained in the introduction, we are expecting the admin to request for a launchpad. So when they request for a launchpad, you fill the form I showed you on our website. So on that form, what we do is, okay, we collect the details. We send the details to IPFS. When we send the details to IPFS, we collect the CID in return. That CID now is like a location of those data on IPFS. Then we send the CID and the token address to our smart contract. So with this now on our front end or on our end as admins, we can get back those details that the user passed in that form. So when we've gotten those details, there's going to be serious back and forth communication between our team and the developers team. And if you feel that project is up to our standard and it's a good project to list on our Launchpad, what we do is to register that project on our Launchpad. One of our admins registers that project. So for to register the project, we're passing the address of the admin, the address of the token, we are giving the Launchpad the registration ID. We also specify start time for the project and the Launchpad total supply. Just like I said, we also specify how many installments we feel will be okay for that project. So this function cannot be called by an admin, that's why we are modifying it here. Okay, only an admin should be able to call this function. And after which, on or after the date of the Launchpad start time that we've imputed while registering the Launchpad, we're expecting the admin to also visit our tab to create the Launchpad. So when creating the Launchpad, the admin now is imputing the registration ID that we used to register that Launchpad. It's also imputing the token name, symbol, the total supply he wants. If he wants a pre-sale session, he also imputes how many tokens he's willing to deposit for a pre-sale session. He specifies the duration, how long he wants the Launchpad to last. He's also specifying the percentage price increase he wants after the Launchpad session was ended. So with this percentage price increase, our contract is able to determine by how many percent should the price of the token increase after the Launchpad. So after the Launchpad, our contract determines the price. Then it also adds the percentage increase he wants to the price. So at that point, immediately after the Launchpad, when the pre-sale is triggered, those that participated in the Launchpad are already in profit based on the percentage that the admin specified in the contract. So that's how we're able to register and also create a Launchpad. There are also other functions that we have here, but if I'm going to go through this, it's going to take a whole while. So that's it. Then another function I really want to show you is our calculate token price. This is our Launchpad contract. With this simple but very, very powerful line of code here, we are able to determine the price of the token based on user participation in that Launchpad. The simple formula we're using here is just we are getting the Launchpad total supply. That's the total number of tokens a user or the admin brought in order to create a Launchpad. I'm multiplying it by the terminal. Since this contract for now, we are deploying this on the Sepolia network. The terminal is 1 Ether. So if you are deploying this contract on Binance Smart Chain, it will be 1 BNB. So if a launchpad data supply multiplied by the terminal, which is 1 ether in this case. Then we are dividing it by the GIT token raised by this launchpad. For example, I'm going to give you a very simplified example. For example, if an admin creates a launchpad, and okay, he creates a launchpad with 100 tokens, fine, that is good. And from that launchpad, he was able to raise 100 ETH. So at this point, okay, we know that okay, we have an exchange rate for that token. We have it simplified that okay, he brought in 100 tokens and user was paid with 100 ETH, meaning that the price of that token now at this point now can be pegged at 1 to 1 with the ether. One of his token can be equal to 1 ETH. So at that point now we have a price for that token. That is how our contract is able to determine the price of this token. But this example I gave now is a very, very simplified example. In real life cases now, we won't be having that kind of a one-to-one exchange rate. We'll be having more complex, like we saw in that example, we'll be having 1:29, 1:30, 1:100, and even as large as it might be, based on user participation. So with our platform now, everything, like the entire ecosystem, is dependent on or focused on the user. The system is designed in order to give the user the maximum interaction, maximum trust, maximum efficiency we can give to our users. So that is how we determine the price of a token from our launchpad. Then I think I might not have showed you how or the form for requesting of launchpad. So let me just briefly show you. Okay, this is the form. With this form for request of launchpad, we're expecting the developer to just input his name, the project name, the project email, token address, the project website, Twitter handle. They're expecting you to upload a logo of your project. Because if you remember looking at our launchpad and presentation, we are displaying images of each project, logo of each project. So once you've done that, upload this, click on the upload button. Once you click on the upload button, we are sending this entire data to IPFS. Then sending again the CID records from IPFS and your token address to our contract. So after back and forth communication between our team and the developers team, we are fixing a date for the developer to create a launchpad. Then on that day or any other day after, but not before the date is specified, the developer can come to our platform, click on the create launchpad button, then specify the registration ID we gave him, the project name, the project symbol, address, and other details here. Then create a launchpad. With the registration ID we are giving the user, we are mapping the registration ID to the token. So even if you give a developer a registration ID, he can use a registration ID to create a launchpad for a different token. Even if he loses his registration ID to a different user or a hacker in this sense, that person or that individual cannot create another launchpad with that registration ID. So we are doing all this in order to increase or to improve security in our system. So making sure that okay, we are giving our users the best and the most secure experience they can have in any launchpad. So that is what we have so far with Gensesis Ignite. This is actually just a demo of what we have. We intend to add more functionality, we intend to add more user experience, improve our gamified experience that we're giving our users. We actually intend to make a whole lot of changes. We intend to shake the ecosystem, to bring a lot of change, positive change to the ecosystem. So this is what I have, and thank you very much for your time. I appreciate you.